All right, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Francisco Nunez. I am a certification officer, and today's workshop we will be discussing disadvantaged business enterprise and airport concessions disadvantaged business enterprise certification. Now, for the purpose of this this workshop, disadvantaged business enterprise can and may be referred to as a DBE, so just pretty much the initials, and airport concession disadvantaged business enterprise can be referred to as an ACDBE. Again, it's just the initials. So just a little introduction on this certification. Disadvantaged business enterprise and airport concession disadvantaged business enterprise program, ACDB and DBE program requirements, certification process. We're going to go about the application, the benefits of becoming DBE or ACDB and or ACDBE certified. We're going to go over that as well, and what to expect once you are certified. Okay. We're going to start with the mission. We are the contracting authority for the procurement of goods and services of the city of Chicago. We pledge to work together as a team and with our customers to guarantee an open, fair, and timely process by establishing, communicating, and enforcing superior business practices. Integrity, public trust, and the law are our guiding principles when it comes to procurement, Department of Procurement Services, okay? The City of Chicago is a federal grant recipient subject to the U.S. Department of Transportation and Federal Aviation Administration. DBE and ACDBE requirements under 49 CFR Parts 26 and 23. The objective of DBE and ACDB programs are to A, ensure non-discrimination in the award and administration of Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration assisted contracts in the department's highway, transit, airport financial assistance programs, and airport concessions programs. So again, just to recap this in simple language, DBE and ACDBE will be used when there are federal funds available for various number of reasons. And again, we'll talk about highway, transit, airport financial assistance programs, and airport concessions programs. Okay, B, to create a level playing field on which eligible businesses can operate fairly for Department of Transportation assisted contract opportunities. So we want everybody to have the opportunity to participate in these contracts, not just a selected few. The DBE program provides guidance for the participants of Dbe firms in federally funded contract opportunities. So we're just going to talk a little bit about certification requirements now. So 49 CFR Parts 23 and 23 state that the business concern must be a for-profit organization, small business, which is at least 51% owned by one or more socially and or economically disadvantaged persons, and whose management and operations are controlled by one or more of the socially and economically disadvantaged partners. Airport concessions can include businesses that provide management consulting, goods, supplies, and advertising service to concessions operating at the airport. So in order to be able to be ACDBE certified, again, you have to be for-profit, you have to be considered a small business, and we'll go into the definition of what we call a small business. And we also have to be able to prove that 51% of the company is owned and controlled by one or more people that are considered disadvantaged. Now, continuing a little bit more on the DBE certification requirements. The groups that are considered disadvantaged by 49 CFR Part 26 are socially and economically disadvantaged are Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, subcontinental Asian Americans, Asian Pacific Americans, women, and other individuals who can individually prove social and economic disadvantage. So these are very, very strict. So you notice that it says Black Americans, you know. So, you know, a lot of times we have people from Africa that were born in Africa, South Africa, Tunisia, whatnot. But if they are not of Black descent, they will not qualify for our program. They must be of Black Americans per se. And then to touch base a little bit on other individuals who can individually prove social and economic disadvantage. There is a way that you can fill out a packet that we will submit to a board that will review. In this packet, it is the responsibility of the business owner and or applicant to provide us with enough information proving to us why they should be considered socially or economically disadvantaged. We do get some of these applications. We don't get a lot of them. It's hard when people ask about this. It's very hard to guide people, because how do you guide someone without giving them an example? And if you're giving someone an example, you may be giving them the answer. You know, and we want them to tell us their story. That way, we are able to review it properly. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the business size standard. Okay, so in order to be DBE or ACDBE certified, there are specific size standards that the companies must meet. DBE and ACDBE both have completely different rules when it comes to size standard. So when it comes to DBE, the firm's 3-year average of annual gross receipts must not exceed the Sba limit for the firm's primary line of business, or the maximum of $23.98 million. So the guidelines that we use to create what the Sba size limits are published by the Small Business Administration. I'll give you an example. Architecture firms, according to Sba standards, a small architecture firm will gross 7.5 mil over an average of 3 years. That's what we consider to be a small business when it comes to DBE standards. So if we get a architecture firm that over the last 3 years, their average gross receipts is 9 million, they do not qualify for the program. Now, we do have other Sba standards that are much higher. So to give you an example, if you are a construction company that builds highways, bridges, and road construction, the Sba standard for that is 36.5. But as DBE limits, any firm that averages over the past 3 years 23.98 million does not qualify for the firm, even if the Sba standard is higher than that. So at the end of the day, for DBE purposes, it's either Sba number or 23.98, whichever is lowest, is what's going to stand. And it's on an average of 3 years. Now, ACDBE. ACDBE is a 3-year average annual gross receipts must not exceed 56.42 million for most firms, with the following exceptions. Okay, so now we're gonna before we go to the exceptions, because the exceptions are very limited and very few far between. When it comes down to ACDBE, Sba standards don't matter. all firms must fall under 56.42 million over an average of 3 years. That's how much gross receipts you could have. Now, unless you're a rental car company, then it's 75.3 million. If it's a bank, the bank's assets cannot exceed $1 billion. If it is a payphone company, which very few out there now, it's you can't have more than 1,500 employees. And lastly, if you are a car dealership, you cannot have more than 350 employees. So just to go back a little bit on DBE, SBA standards sometimes apply to a company in the form of employees. So, for instance, if you are a packaged food manufacturer, the SBA standard will be 150 employees or less. So if you average over 150 employees over the past year, then you will not qualify for the program if the SBA standard is employees. And to be quite honest, it's very far few and in between that I've ever seen employees be the cause of not qualifying for the program. Now we're going to go to the next one, which is very, very, very important, and this applies to both DBE and ACDBE. There is a personal net worth standard for the owner, the qualifying owner. There is a personal net worth standard. The qualifying owner's personal net worth cannot exceed 1.32 million. This is after adjustments. There is a form that you must fill out, sign, and get notarized, stating your personal net worth. There are some things that we sometimes have to adjust to either reduce your personal net worth or increase it. So, and this again, it's the same across the board. There are no exceptions to this rule. Everyone must fall under this rule. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the application process. The following steps must be completed before your firm can be considered to be a certified DBE, ACDBE with the city of Chicago and or state of Illinois. Because if you're certified as a DBE or ACDBE with the city of Chicago, it certifies you with the entire state. There are other certifying agencies, so if you're certified DBE or ACDBE with a different certifying agency such as Metra, CTA, and Department of Transportation, Illinois Department of Transportation, you do not have to be certified with the city as well. It's one certification for the entire state. Now, if you want to be certified in the state of Wisconsin, then you gotta go to reach out to the state of Wisconsin once you're certified with us to get your certification through them. But you must submit a DBE, ACDBE application online and ignore the www. It's supposed to read chicago.mwdbe.com. And then you need to attach all supporting documentation relating to the firm and individual associated with the firm to the online application. Hard copy documents will no longer be accepted. We started the no hard copy documents on January 1st of 2015. So it's been a year, and believe it or not, we still get applications in hard copy, and unfortunately, we have to return them right away. Every single application you will receive what we call an on-site interview or visit process. So the reviewing officer will be contacting you and setting up a time and date where we can sit down at your place of business to go over your application and ask you specific questions. All right, so getting started. You have to submit a lot of information to get this certification again. But amongst the information, you have to provide evidence that you are a citizen or legal resident. You have to proof of contribution by the owner. You have to give us business documents for your specific type of firm. So that if you're a sole proprietor, we're going to need copies of your assumed name certificate. If you're a partnership, copies of your partnership agreement and or the assumed name certificate. Well, if you're a limited liability company, we're going to need your operating agreement and articles of articles of organization. If you're a corporation, then we're going to need your articles of incorporation and your bylaws. Okay, and these must be fully executed by the time you send them in, which is one of the main requirements, that you are already a for-profit legal organization. We're going to need copies of W-2s and 1099 forms for your current and previous previous 2 years. So we want to know, get the 1099s for all the contractors you used for the past 2 years, and W-2s for all the employees that you have used since the initiation of your company. Well, for the past 2 years. This is very important. If you don't submit all the information, we will not be able to complete the review. We're going to need 3 years of signed and complete corporate and individual tax returns. They must include all attachments and schedules. Important, important, important. This is one of the big reasons why people don't get their certifications in a timely manner or don't get their certifications at all. We're going to need 3 years of signed and, same thing for your individual tax returns. Same exact thing for your individual tax returns. We're going to need your financial statements, including balance sheets and income and or expense statement. We need those for the past 3 years for the most part. And to be quite honest, the biggest advice that I always give everyone when they're filling out an application, submit everything. Submit it all. If you don't submit something, you're not giving yourself the best opportunity to get certified as a DBE or ACDBE. Questions at the end? Okay, cool. Go ahead, you can answer questions.
Sorry, just give me one quick question. The jobs, the contracts in this book, and it sounds pretty are these also for minority-owned businesses, or are these specifically for DBs and ACDBs?
They're just everything.
They're everything?
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't realize.
The questions on the buying plan, explain to you. The question is on the buying plan. They wants to know what jobs are posted on the buying plan. The buying plan posts all of our contract opportunities. All of the, and you know, again, I repeat the questions because we are being live streamed on YouTube, and they can't hear you. They can only hear me with the microphone. But yes, the buying plan will have every contract opportunity, both DBE, ACDBE, anything that the city of Chicago and sister agencies are going to be procuring. So then now on your site visit, again, the federal regulations that govern DBE and ACDBE program require the performance of an on-site visit to the offices of the firm seeking DBE, ACDBE certification. The site visit report of an application by any other U.S. Department of Transportation federal fund recipient may be relied upon to meet these requirements. So say, for instance, you get certified with the city of Chicago, so now you're certified with the state of Illinois as a DBE, ACDB. And then you decide, man, you know, I have an opportunity in the state of Indiana. But now you got to go to Indiana and get certified as a DBE there. So then the state of Indiana will contact us to perform a site visit or to send them the site visit we have it on tap, and that can be used. So then, you know, the people from Indiana don't have to come over here and interview you. And depending on the circumstances, a firm may not be eligible when an on-site visit will be conducted. So again, so if a company from North Carolina calls us and says, I want to apply for certification, and they're not certified with their home state, we will refuse it because we're not going to send somebody to North Carolina to conduct a site visit. So now, the approval and or denial of an application is mostly always based on the ownership. Are they disadvantaged? Is the business size determination, are you fall within the guidelines of the size standard? Is the owners or the qualifying owners' personal net worth under the limit, which is 1.32 million? Is the company independently run? You don't depend on either A, another company, B, you don't depend on other individuals to run. Does the person that is disadvantaged have the control to do whatever they want with this company? Do they have the final say? That's important. And all the burden of proof is allocated towards the applicant. The applicant is the one that has to prove to us that they indeed do fall under all of these standards. Okay, so now what are the benefits of DBE ACDBE certification? It is free to apply, there is no fee. Certification as a DBE ACDBE provide opportunities for participants in United States Department of Transportation and the Federal Aviation Administration federally funded contracts with the City of Chicago, Illinois Department of Transportation, Chicago Transit Authority, PACE, and Metra. So these are the big the organizations that pretty much receive federal funds to do projects. So that's why those are the certifying firms. So once you're certified with one, you're certified with all. And then we will they will also have a relationship with a number of agencies that can provide assistance to DBE firms. These assist agencies provide a variety of services to small businesses. So if you are having issues applying for certifications, there's assist agencies out there that can help you. The first place that I always turn people that ask the question is to look at your local chamber of commerce. They usually have someone that can, they'll be able to point you in the right direction. Unfortunately, the City of Chicago does have a published list online, and we can guide you to that list, or actually, it's in the back of our buying plan, the last page of our buying plan. But we don't personally recommend one over the other, because then if something bad happens, we don't want to hold liability there. The City of Chicago DBE ACDB program demonstrates that the city's continued commitment to the success of minority and women-owned businesses. Now, a big thing, you know, a lot of times people ask, how long is it going to take? How long is it going to take? It really, to be honest with you, the process right now with the city, we're trying to keep everything under 90 days. We're doing our best. Sometimes it may take a little bit longer. That's why earlier I was stressing the point to, when you submit an application, make sure it's as complete as possible. Because that's really what takes the longest. When an officer has to go back to ask for more information, it gets frustrating for the business owner because they're really busy as well. We understand that. So then all of a sudden, 15 days pass like nothing. Then it turns into a month. Then it turns into 45 days. And that's how the applications start getting delayed really bad. So again, moral of the story, whenever you do fill out the application, try to upload everything. And if you have any questions on what needs to be uploaded, then just give us a call. We'll gladly be able to help. Once you are certified, Again, we provide one-shop certification. Once you're certified with the City of Chicago, you are certified and accepted by everyone else, which is IDOT, Metra, PACE, and CTA. You can sign up for DPS and Department of and DOA for alerts. I'll have to check on what DOA is. This is the first time I do this workshop, so Department of Aviation. That's what it is. So DPS, Department of Procurement Services, and Department of Aviation, on their website they'll have a little area where you can sign up for alerts. So if you're an engineering company, it'd be awesome to go in there, register, and anytime an opportunity for an engineering firm comes up, you'll get an email with the deadline and guiding you to look at this request, either for qualifications or for proposals. All City of Chicago and its sister agencies contracting opportunities can be found online. So by sister agencies, we mean the companies that our departments that do their own procurement. So, for instance, one example of it, like Chicago Public Schools, Chicago Park District, Chicago Chicago Housing Authority, all of those. Those are all considered sister agencies. Our buying plans has a list of all of them. And the good thing about our buying plan, it also lists all of the contracts that they are coming out with. So that way you don't have to have 5 or 6 different books. And then we provide you a list of agencies that provide assistance to Dbe firms. These assist agencies will help you service. So we talked about that. The one thing that we want you guys to know is that we're here to help you guys get certified. We want you guys to have an opportunity to bid and be a part of all these contracts. Unfortunately, there's only so much that we can do to help, but certification is one of them, okay? Certification is one of them. We're here to help you guys. So anytime you guys have a question, you guys can definitely come find us. The last slide here has all of our contact information. You can always give us a call. Come visit up at the 8th floor here in City Hall. And our Chief Procurement Officer, our Commissioner of the Department of Procurement Services is Jamie Ree. You can always visit our website at www.cityofchicago.org/procurement. If you have any questions, again, just give us a call. You know, especially with certification, I can attest that we always answer the calls, okay? So now we're going to move on to questions. If anybody here in the audience has any questions.
The one-stop certification is
No, one is recognized. So every state has what we call the UCP. So Illinois has its Unified Certification Program. So the agencies all get together and under the federal law, build the application that they're going to require to be certified at Dbe, ACDBE. So it'll be the same exact application for everyone and any of them. The good thing is that you only have to fill it out with one agency and get approved with one agency, then you're certified with all of them.
Second question. I currently have a DBE application I just submitted to the state of Springfield. I was forewarned it may take about 4 to 6 months before a response comes. I'm interested in that 90-day review process that the city has. Is it a conflict to submit 2 applications?
You will not be able to submit 2 applications. The system will not allow you, but you definitely, if you submit an application somewhere else and you're like, you know what, forget it, I want to go through someone else, you can send a written notice to them and to us, and we will work together to make sure that you get we get that application, that information, and do it here.
Okay, so there's no conflict, I just have to,
You just have to, in a sense, say, you know what,
send the other application.
you know, pretty much what you want to say is like, you know what, I don't want you to do it anymore because I believe the city's going to get it done quicker. So then they'll come, we will get it transferred over here. There are very few instances that hasn't been the case, and that hasn't been the case if the people, if the agency that currently holds your application has a reason to believe that you are doing it because of certain information that has already been given to them, they can refuse that as well. So, and I'm not saying that this is you or anyone else, but if, for instance, I have a construction company and I apply with CTA, and then I send CTA a document that shows that I just kind of, I'm an absent owner and an investor, and the person running is my minority owner who's 49%, but is not a socially or economically disadvantaged individual, then CTA might say, no, you know what, we already have information, we've already invested into this application, so we will be the ones conducting the review. But those are very, 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 very rare. But I just want to let you know that there may be sometimes opportunities for them to say, no, we're going to keep it, okay? Okay.
Is there a difference in hierarchy between minority certified businesses and disadvantaged business enterprises when it comes to the contract
When it
procurement
comes to
process?
contracts, minority and disadvantaged business enterprise and women-owned, okay, so we have the two programs, right? We have what we call a local program, which is governed by city ordinance, which would be our minority-owned business certification, women-owned business certification, and business enterprise managed and or owned by people with disabilities. The difference between the two is DBE and ACDBE is regulated by the Department of Transportation and the Federal Aviation Administration. The big difference that I explain it to people, if there are federal dollars that are being used on a contract, you're going to need DBE or ACDBE. If it is local money used, like state money and or city money, then we're going to use minority, women-owned, and business. So there is a distinction. I always tell everyone, especially like for instance, if you're a construction company and you build bridges and runways and all that, if you're going to get certified as an MBE, might as well get certified as a DBE at the same time, because we will review both of them at the same time. And then by review, even though it is a little bit different, the standards are a little bit different. Here in the city of Chicago, we've tried to mirror as much as possible the federal regulations, but it is not completely mirrored the same. So there are minor issues, but when it comes down to determining independence and control, that is definitely something that is reviewed on both applications. So I always recommend, if you feel like you would be able to do some type of federal job and a local job, definitely apply for both. Does that answer the question?
It does. It does answer the question. It brings up another related question. So I guess I'm asking because I am already a MBE certified business. I do not qualify as a DBE. And so I'm wondering, number one, the jobs in this book, are they available to MBE certified businesses but not DBE, ones that are not DBE? And two, when I'm applying, are they going to give preference to the guys that are DBE over the ones that are MBE?
Okay, so the good thing is that no matter whether you're certified or not, you can apply for any, right? But the RFP, RFQ will strictly state the guide, whether we need a firm that is DBE certified or MBE certified. If you are not DBE certified, you cannot replace it with MBE. You will have to find a DBE certified firm. You have to, there's no way around it. I mean, there has been times where, contracts are awarded without that section, but they're very few and far in between. Say, for instance, if we're getting a contract, to build a rocket launcher, and there's no DBE or MBE certified firms that can help build a rocket launcher, then we will go ahead with the contract without the participation of a certified firm. But those are very few, very few. But to answer your question, the RFP and/or RFQ will be very strict in listing whether we need DBE participation or M&W DBE. And we can't flip-flop them. We cannot exchange one for the other. Other questions? Okay, well, with that, we will wrap it up. And if there are any questions, again, feel free to contact us. And have a great day, everyone.